Let's take a look at some of the unique value propositions behind NVIDIA. First, one unique value lies in its comprehensive platform strategy that integrates hardware, software, as well as AI solutions. The company's proprietary programming model and domain-specific software libraries enable superior performance in AI model training as well as inference. The company's extensive experience in investment in research and development further solidifies its position as the pioneer in industry, delivering advanced solutions across various sectors. Now, in recent news, going back to November 20th, the company reported its Q3 financials, whereby both top and bottom line numbers beat estimates. The company said it earned $1.30 per share on an adjusted basis, as well as revenue that soared 62% year over year that came in around $57.01 billion. Advancing forward to the fourth quarter of fiscal 2026, NVIDIA expects to generate $65 billion in revenue versus the $62 billion approximate forecasted revenue prior to the earnings announcement. Exceptional revenue growth last quarter was fueled by robust demand from generative AI labs and hyperscalers. The data center segment, which comprises the largest constituent of sales, drove 66% year-over-year growth with vigorous demand from both US and European clients, which offset most of the decline in Chinese revenue due to export restrictions. They even guided as a company for fiscal Q4 with gross margins over 75%, which reinforces the strong AI data center growth and earnings trends. Also, most recently, NVIDIA is under pressure after a report that Meta Platforms is in talks to spend billions of dollars on Google's AI chips, which presents a formidable competitor. Now, we have to consider lots of positives with NVIDIA. First off, Q3 earnings highlighted effective data center growth, driven by significant demand for Blackwell GPUs and a robust order book extending into 2026. This positions NVIDIA as a leader in the AI market. Now, NVIDIA's dominance in AI and data center GPU markets means demand from big tech, which continues to invest heavily in AI, is bolstered by strong spending, suggesting robust long-term demand for its Blackwell GPUs. NVIDIA's financial performance is underpinned by a strong balance sheet and significant free cash flow, enabling ongoing investments in R&D as well as strategic expansions. The company also has high profitability when compared to sector competitors, as well as its own 5-year averages. This translates into high efficiency. For example, gross margins on a 4-quarter trailing basis top 70%, well above the sector median of around 49%, as well as its own historical averages on a 5-year basis of 66%. This highlights the company's effectiveness in converting sales into profits. Now, despite over $4 trillion in market capitalization, NVIDIA's valuation may still be considered cheap when looking at it from a PEG ratio standpoint, which is essentially looking at the PE ratio to its growth rate. For instance, the PE ratio on a forward basis is estimated to be, based on consensus, at around 39 times earnings. However, its earnings estimates in terms of growth rates are expected to be over 80%. This suggests a PEG ratio of less than 1, which may be a good value considering its growth rates. Now, despite the positives I just addressed, we also have to address some of the concerns. First off, there are concerns about a potential AI spending bubble, which have recently been raised, which could impact NVIDIA if the market demand for AI infrastructure declines. NVIDIA's reliance on AI growth could pose risks if key deals or market conditions change unfavorably. The company's exposure to geopolitical tensions, especially regarding sales to China, still remains a concern, possibly affecting its ability to fully capitalize on the AI market. Now, competition from domestic rivals is heating up. These include companies that I mentioned earlier, like AMD, Intel, as well as Broadcom. This could eventually erode market share and dominance. We have to also consider Google as a mainstay competitor, which is very formidable. Now, NVIDIA's growth may normalize eventually, with concerns about the sustainability of its high growth rates and margin pressures from the production of new Blackwell chips as well. Now, let's take into consideration the technical picture of NVIDIA post-earnings. First off, despite a 1-month decline of roughly 8%, year-to-date NVIDIA's performance has still bested the broader market by nearly double, up 30% approximately versus the S&P 500's increase of approximately 14%. The stock right now is trading below its 20 and 50-day moving averages, which suggests near-term weakness in price action. Let's also keep in mind that a cross back above the 50-day moving average would be a confirmation of a renewed uptrend. The stock is still above its 200-day moving average, which is pointed up, indicating that the intermediate-term trend is still bullish. However, the next level of technical support of approximately $165, published in early September, is still something we have to consider alongside that rising 200-day moving average as potential support. Now, in summary, NVIDIA's products are utilized by a diverse range of customers, including OEM manufacturers, cloud service providers, and automotive companies as well. The company's innovation-driven approach has led to significant investments in R&D, positioning it as a leader in the AI and
In response to NVIDIA's weekend memo that addressed a number of bearish concerns, Bernstein maintained its price target at $275 and reiterated its outperform rating on the company. In its memo, Nvidia addressed issues that had been affecting mood in recent weeks, including receivables, working capital, depreciation, and the pattern of its revenue flows. According to Bernstein, the company's justifications were mostly plausible and helped dispel some of the doubt that investors had been discussing. Since Nvidia sent the memo to sell-side analysts, it has garnered a lot of attention. According to Bernstein, there has been a spike in client interest and numerous requests to examine the specifics. Citi analysts reaffirmed their buy recommendation for Nvidia Corp. Earlier on November 10th and increased the price objective from $210 to $220. The price target increase coincides with anticipation that the stock's third-quarter earnings release will enhance it. Strong investments in artificial intelligence will follow the impressive earnings report. Additionally, Citi has confirmed that it has shipped 6 million Blackwell units, showing significant demand and potential short-term growth. As a result, the research firm projects that the chipmaker will surpass the average forecast of $55 billion in revenue for its October quarter, delivering $57 billion. Additionally, it anticipates that the pace of sales growth will continue into the January quarter, with $62 billion in revenues above Wall Street projections of $61 billion. Nvidia has also been hailed by Bank of America analysts as an attractive investment that is well-positioned to benefit from the AI boom. The investment bank projects the company's earnings per share to reach $8 per share, which would represent a 70% rise in EPS and a 50% increase in sales growth, given that the company disclosed $500 billion in 2025-2026 data center orders. Because it creates and provides the potent GPUs and software platforms required for AI development and implementation, Nvidia is a significant player in the field. In addition to hardware, the company offers software such as NVIDIA AI Enterprise and the CUDA parallel computing platform, as well as services for creating, honing, and executing AI models. As investors reevaluate high artificial intelligence valuations and keep an eye on Alphabet's competitive actions, Nvidia shares have dropped almost 10% in November. On Wednesday, the stock increased by 1% during regular trading, but fell by roughly 0.3% after hours, suggesting a cautious start to the U.S. markets when they resume following the Thanksgiving holiday. The majority of Wall Street analysts are still optimistic despite the reversal. According to data, the overwhelming majority of covering analysts continue to recommend buying the shares, with an average price objective that suggests possible gains from current levels. Citing robust order trends, Vijay Rakesh of Mizuho stated that the demand for Nvidia's graphics processing units seems to be stable. He reaffirmed an outperform rating with a $245 target and stated that the company's most recent Blackwell processors are fully allocated. Alphabet's custom chip initiatives, which some view as a longer-term competitive concern, have also drawn attention from investors. Many analysts currently present the sell-off as a potential entry chance before the holidays. The average target price for Nvidia Corp. is $250.57, with a high estimate of $432.78 and a low estimate of $138 based on the one-year price goals provided by 56 analysts. The average objective suggests a plus 39.01% increase from the $180.26 current price. Throughout the artificial intelligence, AI arms race, few equities have performed as well as Palantir and Nvidia. As of this video, Palantir's stock has increased by around 2,300%, while Nvidia's has increased by 1,100% since 2023. That's a remarkable run in less than 3 years, but so is what each of them accomplished in 2025. In 2025, Nvidia is up more than 30%, and Palantir is risen almost 100%. Those are both returns that beat the market, but will they last until 2026? Going into 2026, I believe one of them is a far stronger investment than the other, and one of these outstanding equities may find it difficult to meet expectations. Which is which? Let's examine. In the arms race for artificial intelligence, Nvidia and Palantir are not rivals. Indeed, they recently collaborated to provide Palantir's ontology in an already built Nvidia stack. Palantir is a software business that focuses on data analytics driven by AI. It began by providing its software to government organizations before branching out into the private sector. Over time, its platform has changed, and the most recent version now includes agents driven by generative AI. Palantir's goods have shown remarkable growth rates due to the unquenchable demand. Palantir's sales increased 63% year-over-year in the third quarter of 2025. 3 of its 4 sectors contributed to its strength, with U.S. government and foreign government revenue expanding rapidly, and U.S. commercial revenue taking center stage with a 121% year-over-year gain. International AI adoption is the only area where Palantir is behind, and this is partly outside Palantir's control. Palantir's growth has been tremendous, but Nvidia's is equally impressive, particularly when considering its size. Nvidia manufactures graphics processing units, GPUs, and other data center support equipment. This has been an amazing business to be in over the past few years, especially given the enormous sums of money AI hyperscalers are investing in the AI arms race. The results of Nvidia's recently released Q3 FY 2026, which ended on October 26th, were simply astounding. With a 62% growth rate and $57 billion in revenue, it came up just short of Palantir's growth rate. That surpassed internal projections, as management informed investors during its Q2 earnings that it anticipated $54 billion for Q3. To put things in perspective, Nvidia's Q3 revenue was around 3 times more than Palantir's. That demonstrates Nvidia's enormous size and scope, and the company is defying the conventional wisdom that says it should be more difficult to expand as one gets bigger. By the end of 2025, every company is producing amazing achievements, but which will be able to maintain that throughout 2026. I don't see any indications that either of these companies will slow operations in 2026, given the ongoing AI arms race. On the other hand, one stock has very high expectations. It is evident that Palantir is valued at a significantly higher level when comparing the valuation of each stock from the standpoint of future earnings. Nvidia is trading below 25 times 2026 profits, whereas Palantir is trading at 156 times. This indicates that Palantir's stock price has far bigger expectations built into it, making additional increases challenging. In contrast, Nvidia's valuation is comparable to that of its major tech competitors, and if it can surpass forecasts, its stock performance might be comparable to that of 2025. Based only on price, I believe Nvidia will be a much better investment choice for 2026. However, given the ongoing increase in demand for AI, I believe both companies will continue to prosper. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve.
Okay, where do you see it? What were numbers there? 7,100, 7,500, 8,000. Pick a number.
I'm not going to pick a number. That's too risky. I'm not going to do that in a public forum. But I do think this issue.
Well, you can give me any number. Just don't give me the date.
Let's go 7% higher from here, the long-term average.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's bold.
So, I mean, I do think this issue this morning, it's showing how important data center infrastructure is to the economy.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Chicago. I worked down at the Merc for a summer. So things have obviously gotten a lot more electronic from when I was down there. But, yeah, I think a lot of the market's performance will come down to these big tech companies, and there's a lot of debate about them right now. So
They were just debating in the prior hour this AI or the Fed.
yeah.
I'm not sure it's a binary choice here. I think it was a little bit of both, right? And I think the Fed came along and maybe calmed down the AI concern. Is that how you read what happened last week?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Fed definitely calmed down the interest rates concern.
Yeah.
I think, if we take a step back and we rewind just 6 weeks ago, which now feels like an eternity ago, I think the backdrop was the market was getting excited about this idea of rate cuts against an economic backdrop of growth reacceleration next year. Then there was a bunch of drama that you talked a lot about with Fed officials where maybe this dovish rate path was not so dovish, and then simultaneously some of the data released started to cool down a little bit. So this rate cut into growth reacceleration sort of reversed a bit. Market became a little bit more risk off, probably some fatigue as well after a big run. I think that is what really impacted the AI stocks more than any fundamentals. So I think the two are inextricably linked at this point. But
what do you think is going to be the driver of that reacceleration if, in fact, we do see that next year? Is it just more of the same from AI infrastructure investment, and is that going to mark a reacceleration?
Well, I mean, I think you were talking about with your last guest, tax refunds is going to help consumer spending. I think other provisions of the big beautiful bill, like expensing of capex, I think should help spur.
But outside of AI, we haven't seen a noticeable impact of full expensing and immediate bonus depreciation. We just haven't seen it. What makes you think we could see that next year, even though the benefits were supposed to be this year?
Well, I think it's companies have had more time to implement plans with the new policies. So I think that could cause a reacceleration in sort of the non-AI capex.
Robert, that's an important point because my sources at Treasury think that companies don't know about it. They think they're just not hip to the new.
Who doesn't know about it? I mean,
that's their feeling. That's their feeling.
This was the biggest lobbying push by corporate Americas to get bonus depreciation into that tax bill, and they got it.
Well, call the Treasury people. That's what they're telling me. And
I mean, if they don't know about it, that's
well. I mean, I'm not sure
concerning.
everybody knows that it's happening. And I want to go back and clarify what we talked about in the prior segment.
Yeah.
I used $2,000 for the thing that the check that Trump.
Oh, the tariff check.
What you meant is that there's an increase of as much as $2,000 in the refund,
right,
which is a big deal, perhaps. Let me come back to this non-AI trade. There was a lot of talk the last couple of years about, hey, get into the equal weight S&P because those companies are finally going to have their day in the sun. But it's still been shining mostly on the 7. Is this a year, you think, 26, when finally investors realize value?
You keep trying to get me to make a big 2026 prediction. But no, I mean, I think we've been seeing the broadening out trade over the last few weeks or the last month. I think that can continue. But ultimately, fundamentals are going to drive stocks. Earnings growth is going to drive stocks. We really have not seen strong fundamentals outside of the big tech companies. So I think the big tech companies, actually, I think five of the Mag 7 have seen their forward price earnings multiples derate this year. So yes, they're still driving a lot of performance, but the performance is coming from earnings growth, not multiple expansion.
Yeah, I was going to